وتتوب علي وتعافيني من جميع البلاء والوباء، وأن تغفر لي وترحم المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات، وأن تغفر لعبدك المذنب الخاطئ الضعيف، وأن تتوب عليه إنك غفور رحيم. اللهم آمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم إني أسألك بحق ما حمل كرسيك من عظمتك وقدرتك وجلالك وبهائك وسلطانك، وبحق اسمك المخزون المكنون الذي سميت به نفسك وأنزلته في كتابك واستأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك، أن تصلي على سيدنا محمد عبدك ورسولك. وأسألك باسمك الذي إذا دعيت به أجبت وإذا سئلت به أعطيت. وأسألك باسمك الذي وضعته على الليل فأظلم، وعلى النهار فاستنار، وعلى السماوات فاستقلت، وعلى الأرض فاستقرت، وعلى الجبال فرست، وعلى الصعبة فذلت، وعلى ماء السماء فسكبت، وعلى ماء السحاب فأمطرت. وأسألك بما سألك به سيدنا محمد نبيك، وأسألك بما سألك به سيدنا آدم نبيك، وأسألك بما سألك به أنبياؤك ورسلك وملائكتك المقربون صلى الله عليهم أجمعين. وأسألك بما سألك به أهل طاعتك أجمعين، أن تصلي على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد ما خلقت من قبل أن تكون السماء مبنية والأرض مطحية والجبال مرسية والعيون منفجرة والأنهار منهمرة والشمس مضحية والقمر مضيئا والكواكب منيرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد علمك، وصل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد حلمك، وصل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد ما أحصاه اللوح المحفوظ من علمك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد ما جرى به القلم في أم الكتاب عندك، وصل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد ملء سماواتك، وصل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد ملء أرضك، وصل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد ملء ما أنت خالقه من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد صفوف الملائكة وتسبيحهم وتقديسهم وتحميدهم وتمجيدهم وتكبيرهم وتهليلهم من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى محمد عدد السحاب الجارية والرياح الزارية من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد كل قطرة تقطر من سماواتك إلى أرضك وما تقطر إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد ما هبت الرياح وعدد ما تحركت الأشجار والأوراق والزروع وجميع ما خلقت في قرار أسرار الحفظ من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد القطر والمطر والنبات من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد النجوم في السماء من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد ما خلقت في بحارك السبعة مما لا يعلم علمه إلا أنت وما أنت خالقه إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد الحصى في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد ما خلقت من الجن والإنس وما أنت خالقه إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد أنفاسهم وألفاظهم وألحاظهم يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد طيران الجن والملائكة من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد الطيور والهوام وعدد الوحوش والآكام في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد الأحياء والأموات. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد ما أظلم عليه الليل وأشرق عليه النهار من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد عدد من يمشي على رجلين ومن يمشي على أربع من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد من صلى عليه من الجن والإنس والملائكة من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد من لم يصل عليه. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما يجب أن يصلى عليه. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما ينبغي أن يصلى عليه. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد حتى لا يبقى شيء من الصلاة عليه. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وصل على سيدنا محمد في الآخرين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الملأ الأعلى إلى يوم الدين. ما شاء الله لا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وأسألك اللهم بالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا آدم عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا نوح عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا هود عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا إبراهيم عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها بها سيدنا صالح عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا يونس عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا أيوب عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا يعقوب عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا يوسف عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا موسى عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا هارون عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا شعيب عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا إسماعيل عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا داود عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا سليمان عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا زكريا عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا يحيى عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا أرميا عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا شعياء عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا إلياس عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا اليسع عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا ذو الكفل عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا يوشع عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا عيسى عليه السلام، وبالأسماء التي دعاك بها سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وعلى جميع النبيين والمرسلين أن تصلي على سيدنا محمد نبيك عدد ما خلقته من قبل أن تكون السماء مبنية والأرض مدحية والجبال مرسية والبحار مجرأة والعيون منفجرة والأنهار منهمرة والشمس مضحية والقمر مضيئا والكواكب مستنيرة كنت حيث كنت لا يعلم أحد حيث كنت إلا أنت وحدك لا شريك لك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد حلمك، وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد علمك، وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد كلماتك، وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد نعمتك، وصل على سيدنا محمد ملء سماواتك، وصل على سيدنا محمد ملء أرضك، وصل على سيدنا محمد ملء عرشك، وصل على سيدنا محمد زينة عرشك، وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد ما جرى به القلم في الكتاب، وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد ما خلقت في 7 سماواتك، وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد ما أنت خالق فيهن إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد كل قطرة قطرت من سماواتك إلى أرضك من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد من يسبحك ويهللك ويكبرك ويعظمك من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد محمد عدد أنفاسهم وألفاظهم وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد كل نسمة خلقتها فيهم من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد السحاب الجارية وصل على سيدنا محمد عدد الرياح الذارية من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد عدد ما هبت عليه الرياح وحركته من الأغصان والأشجار والأوراق والثمار وجميع ما خلقت على أرضك وما بين سماواتك من يوم خلقت الدنيا إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على
delicate point, because the arrogant ones, they should despair. You understand? The tyrants, Allah is not going to show mercy to them. But the sinner, he should not despair. You think ever tyrant ones, arrogant ones, they're going to say, I'm a sinner? No. By definition, their word is there. They are arrogant. They will never say they do wrong things. They will never say they are arrogant. They will not put their head down. And to ask for forgiveness, sincerely saying, I am like this and I am like that. Maybe sometimes you may say to yourself, you may say quiet in the dua. But if somebody tells you, why are you being arrogant? You are this, you are that. You see that one who is a pussycat, he becomes a lion that time, trying to defend himself. Yes? So, if there is nobody telling you how you are, how are you going to improve? How are you going to improve? Just by sitting, praying, going up and down, reading Quran every day, how are you going to improve? That is not going to make you to improve, because Allah could have just sent down the Quran and the orders to everyone, but He sent down a guide. The Holy Prophet ﷺ was a guide, is still a guide, guiding us, not only ritual, doing what up and down, this and that, which we have to do, but inside of that, we have to become obedient, good servants. Don't you see? Aren't we going to learn from the Ahlul Kitab? No one can be holding on to the Shariat of Allah like this or like that, saying. Then the Bani Israel, keeping the Shariat of Allah, saying this is very important, this well. But when Isa alayhi salam was sent to them to bring spirituality, which is tariqat, to say, yes, you are worshipping, you are doing everything, but what about the dirty characteristics that you have? You are hiding it behind the clothes that you wear. You are hiding it behind your recitation. You are hiding it behind all your worship. But you know and Allah knows. How are you going to get rid of all those dirty characteristics? Isa alayhi salam was sent to them to teach them about their dirty characteristics. They didn't like that. They ran to kill him. So now Prophet ﷺ, he was not just someone who is going to tell you, pray, fast, go to Hajj. He was someone who is guiding us. Guiding us. So the one who does not guide, he is not going to know how he is. Something is wrong with your car. Go read the books and the manuals to see what is wrong with your car. And tell me, this is what it is. Something is wrong with your car. Simple. What do? You bring it to a mechanic. You bring it to someone who has knowledge of that car. You're driving that car, you love that car, maybe you're reading so much about the car too, you may have some knowledge, but that one is a specialist, correct? 1, 2, 3. All your reading will go to trash can that time. He says, it's because of this, because of that. because you have banana in the tailpipe, maybe. Not because of you thinking about something else. So there is a specialist. That guide is a specialist, because everyone, you ask them, when they're in a good mood, they say, yes, 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 I'm a bad one, I'm a bad servant. When they're in a good mood, I'm saying. When they're in a bad mood, if you say to them, you're a bad servant, you are arrogant, you are angry, you are this or that, oh, watch how they explode that time. But how are you going to know yourself if you don't have a guide to tell you? You know your own body, you live in your body, yet you go to a doctor to tell you what is inside. The sinner does not despair from the mercy of Allah, but the arrogant ones and the tyrants, they despair, because Allah will not show mercy to them, as Allah says in so many ayats, unless they turn around. And if you are supporting the arrogant ones and the zalims, their smell will get to you. So now, belonging to us to say, oh, I pray so much, I do zikr so much, I'm not this, I'm not that. Especially in this Jamaat, more you have to say, this sohbat is for me because I have arrogance. That's why it is being reminded to me. I have to remind. So I have to watch myself. So that time, you're going to a mechanic, and the mechanic is going to tell you, look, the gauge come out like that. You still don't know what is wrong with the engine. But drive like this on myself. So don't be zalims to each other. Don't be a zalim. And Tariqat is teaching you through small things. If you're sitting down and you're occupying a space that your brother can sit down, and you don't look around to see whether who needs a space, who doesn't need a space, you are being a zalim. If you are eating, food comes to you and you're not passing it over to another person to make sure that everyone has, you have those qualities too. It is not just to speak nicely with words. I'm saying sometimes people, they are very gruff, but they are the most kind people. They make sure everyone has things to do, things that they need, and they will go out of their way without asking anyone for thanks to fix something to make sure that people are comfortable. This is what you need to do. So, when you become familiar with each other, as the khutbah is saying, there will be more love. The Turks, the Ottomans, they have a nicer way of saying it. Much more. Makes sense also. Very wise. Where there is activity, where there is action, there is work. Where there is harakat, there is barakat. There is blessing. Where there is activity that you're doing, work that you're doing, then there is blessings. Where there's harakat, there's barakat. And then when there's barakat, there's what? Muhabbat. Where there is barakat, there's going to be muhabbat. You start loving each other. And when there is muhabbat, when you start loving each other, then the rahmat of Allah will reign. Modern people, they will take it backwards. They want to have fun with each other, hoping the rahmat is going to fall, without any work that they're doing together, without building up relationship with each other. So they're okay for today. They say, hi, how are you? Tomorrow, if somebody says something to them, they get very hurt and they don't speak to that person. They get disturbed, they don't speak to that person, because there's nothing that is binding. The ummah used to have a lot of harakat, used to have a lot of action. There is a mission for the whole ummah. There's a mission for the sultan. There's a mission for his generals. There's a mission for the padishahs. There's a mission for the governors. There's a mission for the families. Everyone is looking to see how we are going to spread now. Of the Prophet. How, if we're not spreading, how are we going to defend it? They were busy. Now we are busy. In the month of Ramadan, we're busy with eating and drinking. To just listen to hear some words of advice, some sohbat. Oh, say, please, we already fasted today. Please, don't push me so hard. I fasted, okay, today. I got to go and read some Quran. If it's not reaching past your throat, then what good is it? And what is it that the awliya Allah and our Shaykh that we are speaking that is other than the teachings of the Prophet and the teachings of the Quran? This is what sohbat is. What are we teaching you? How to become better in this dunya? How to run after your ego? We are trying to learn. Now, the mechanic is saying, these things you do will be very good for your car. These things you do, you'll have some problems. The guide is doing that too, in the sohbat. These things you do, it is good for you. You'll win dunya and akhirah. These things that you do is no good for you. You will lose. It is up to you now. Mechanic is going to say it's up to you. He's not going to put your hand to take the premium gas to put inside. No. So tariqat, it is up to you. You take it, you win for yourself. That's why we see people who came maybe yesterday, they make so much progress because they're so thirsty and they take the teachings and they put it in their lives. But maybe some people who are here for years and years and years, they're not taking anything, they're not putting into their lives, they don't make any progress. Shaykh Effendi says, 20 years sitting, you didn't make 2 steps in tariqat. Everything is a test. Your happiness is a test. This is a test. Everything we do, we must remember Allah. If in your happiness you forget Allah, not too good. If in your sadness you forget Allah, we must remember Allah. Be with people who are going to remind you as much as you can. Inshallah, that time, this month of Ramadan, we will learn something. We're not just going through some ritual every year, doing the same thing. For the sinner, there is no despair from the mercy of Allah. To get the mercy of Allah, we must first say, yes, Ya Rabbi, I am a sinner. I did this, Ya Rabbi. To make sure that you are more sincere with that, find a guide who is going to tell you, these are the qualities that you have that will lead you to sin. If not, 1 minute you're crying, saying, Ya Rabbi, forgive me, and you feel so good. Next minute, somebody pokes you one side, you become angry, you become stubborn, everything is cancelled, lost again. May Allah forgive me and bless you, inshallah. May we find the blessings of this Ramadan. May Ramadan not come to us on the day of judgment to be a witness against us.
Ameen.
May this Ramadan be a good witness for us. Ya Rabbi, we are your weak creatures. We are your most dirty creatures. Make us to become clean, Ya Rabbi.
Ameen.
Make us to become useful for you.
Ameen.
Forgive us, Ya Rabbi.
Ameen.
For the sake of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and your beloved ones. Al-Fatiha. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum. Where you guys came from? Signal? Huh? There's no signal in Ramadan. Huh? Okay. All right. Any questions? Any questions anyone has? Do you want to say something? Yes, Ajali.
I have a question regarding mercy. Everybody thinking about mercy is different.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, mercy is just my family. Some people, my neighbors. Some people,
Yes.
everybody. And everybody thinks that he's right. I'm very merciful.
No.
Do it all.
Yes. This is when you are rejecting sheikhs and guides who are the waris of the prophets. And everyone thinks because I read Quran, I do some Google, I take some courses, I'm now authority in religion. You ever hear anyone being an authority in dentistry, in teeth, just by reading a couple of things and looking at a couple of mouths? Lost because we lost the Khalifa. We lost ruling of Islam. We have religion, but we don't have the rule of Islam. Islam is not ruling. The way that this whole world is rotating around capitalism and riba never has happened before. The Khilafat was there to stop these things from happening. But we brought it down slowly. Every institution that was set up for over 1,000 years, every institution, it fell. From the highest position to the village position, it fell. So once it falls, they're saying, what is this poison of democracy? Let's say, everyone is right. Everyone has rights. Okay, everyone has rights, but not everyone is right. You cannot give this, and everyone's rights is not the same. You don't give the same rights to a criminal as you give to a free person, as you give to a good person, as you give to a child and the one who is a man. They all have different rights. How are you going to know about these different rights? There is knowledge. There are people with this knowledge. But when the institution is brought down, people of this knowledge, they cut them too. They throw them out. So they say, no, you're all good. Islam is following the Prophet ﷺ. Because everyone can claim they're following Allah. But it is following the Prophet ﷺ. Because he was sent. If it's Allah could have not sent the Prophet. He could have sent the Quran to everyone and told everyone what to do. But he sent one person, a guide, and that person, when he went to over the other side, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, when he was veiled, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, he became the next one. Hazrat Umar, Usman, Ali. And that continued. Don't look to see, this one is a good one, this is a bad one. The worst, let's say, Khalifa and the Muslim king that we have is better than the best one that we have today. Because they were still moving to bring Islam, moving to bring the light of the Prophet ﷺ. Even the worst one, check to see. Maybe personally they do wrong things here and there, it's between him and Allah. But they teach us how to quickly judge, you see. They teach us to hate our past, hate our history, to be ashamed of it, and to say, why don't you become like the West? They're so good. They have democracy. Sit down. They have democracy. Don't sit like a Buddha in front of me, huh? Follow them. Don't you see? They have nice houses, nice parliaments, nice streets, nice everything. Oh, how did they become nice? Oh, they took everything from the Muslim lands. That's how they became nice. So you want to follow them. What are they teaching us? Who are these people? The one who hated Allah and the Prophet ﷺ, that they've never changed. We're not saying there are no good things. There's so many good things from them, yes. But you cannot follow anything blindly. Don't even follow any sheikh blindly. You cannot be blind. You have to be awake. So now, according to who? According to Islam, Allah is saying, you can define mercy any way that you want. No. It is mercy according to the one who is merciful. That is Allah. And Allah has shown to His Prophet ﷺ as the final messenger, the most beautiful way of what that mercy is. So now, it is following the Prophet. We cannot run away from this protocol. When people run away from this protocol, when people run away from Khilafat and they run to nationalism, then that mercy is according to your nation, according to your politics, according to your history. Then you're going to say it is merciful to have a nice multi-million-dollar procession transporting the bodies of the Fir'auns that Allah cursed from one building to another. That is being merciful. That everyone is going to define mercy the way that they want to. We used to be united, but you must unite under a king. You must unite under a sultan. Impossible otherwise. So when you don't have that sultan, everyone is just going to unite with something, with their families, community, culture, ideology, income bracket, something they're going to unite. And they're going to say, no, this is Islam. Everyone is going to say it is correct. they're not going to listen to anyone, especially high-class people. Especially high-class Egyptian people. Yani. Don't worry, I'll smack the Pakistanis later. And other nations there, don't worry. It's a fair, equal opportunity. Everyone. So, everyone will claim. Why is it that when it comes to religion, they are very arrogant? Although they may not know so much, they are very arrogant to say, I know, because they read the Quran in their mother tongue, in their language. But when it comes to secular knowledge, dunya knowledge, anyone who shows them a little bit of more knowledge, they run and say, they want to learn, they want to take, they want to improve. Yes or no? Person is an accountant. Somebody has a new technique, new style, even if it's a little bit. They say, they're very interested to know. They don't question. They don't say, I know. Why are you telling me this? This is the arrogance that falls into the people calling themselves Muslims these days. Especially those ones that they can read very good. Then they say, why I have to take from you? I can read Quran. You speak Arabic? You don't. You have nothing to teach me. Rare, even Yahudis speak Arabic. There are Arabs who are Christians who speak Arabic. We, in Tariqat, it is not Arabche, Arab language. We're trying to understand what Allah is speaking to us through Rabche, not Arabche, Rabche, the language of our Lord. You seem to forget Holy Prophet ﷺ. He was Ummi. So these ones that are very stubborn like this, don't fight. Don't say anything to them. You can't. There's a bar in front of them and a bar behind them. They can't see. So they think everyone is right. When they think they are right and you know that they are wrong, if they're not asking you for your perspective, if they don't want to learn, don't speak. If they want to learn, we have so many things that we may say that we learn from our shaykhs. So many things. That is also arrogance. It's very dangerous. That is arrogance. So no, you have to follow mercy now according to the teachings of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and those who are in their footsteps. And when you enter into Tariqat, you will understand now how delicate this mercy also is. Because if you overstep it, you may get a smack. If you don't step up, you may get a smack. I'll give you an example. And this is all according to intelligence. This is not philosophy. He was in Harlem. Shaykh Effendi, as you know, he used to give sohbats there and zikr on Tuesday nights when I was living there. And he came, and the summertime when it was getting pretty hot, he used to come out to the stoop and he used to sit and watch. This is also sunnat, to watch people, to learn, to take lesson from them, to say, what is Allah trying to teach me with this? One of our brothers was there with him, I was there, a few other people, and there was an accident that happened. And this brother, he was a little bit not too full up there, And then he opened his hand like this, and then he prayed. And our shaykh was looking at him. Number one, according to the protocol, you don't really do that. If the shaykh is not doing it, you don't. If he does it, there's a reason. If he doesn't do it, there's a reason. He watches and he knows more than you do through the surroundings also. So there was an accident there. The brother thought that it's a merciful thing to pray for the people who had the accident, correct? Is the shaykh not seeing it? Of course he's seeing it, but he's not doing the same. So instead of questioning, we want to find out. It's a difference. So I say, Shaykh Effendi is not doing that. There must be a reason. Let me wait, let me see. I don't jump to say, why is he not doing that? Why? And I say, interesting. He's not doing that. So Shaykh Effendi is asking, why are you doing that? Praying for them. Oh, Shaykh, I pray that Allah will give mercy to them. And Shaykh Effendi says, do you know them? Do you know those people? Do you know what they did? Do you know why Allah is making them to go through that? You don't. So why are you interfering? Maybe through that accident, Allah is cleaning that one up because it's filled with wrong things, and through one smack, he's clean and he'll go clean. But now because you're interfering, now you're interfering to the will of Allah. This is some delicate matters which not every time, every day the Shaykh is going to say, but if you observe, you will then start feeling through your heart. People come up to us to ask us for prayers. They say, what is it that you want? Please, I'm looking for a job. Don't go to say, Ya Rabbi, please give him a job. You can do that, but you are going to be responsible. You don't know why first Allah is not giving him. How long he's been waiting. Is he waiting? Is he being lazy? You don't know so many questions that are there. You're not answering. You're not asking Allah, you're interfering. The saints, they are more careful than that. Somebody is asking, they say, Ya Rabbi, it is up to you, as you like. Whatever that is good, we ask. If it is good that you get a job, get a job. If it's good that you don't get a job, that there is something there, we say we're not interfering, Ya Rabbi. And this is something that is opposite of why people join tarikats too, because they say, I join tarikat, whatever I ask, he's going to give it to me. I go to this sheikh, whatever I ask, he's going to give it to me. So, people have different understandings. But if they think they are knowledgeable, there is no way that you can speak to them. What's going to happen to them? A smack, that's all. As it happened to the mushriks and even to the Holy Prophet ﷺ's family, who rejected him because they are so full. And they didn't want to hear anything. They say, you don't even know how to read and write. You're an orphan. Astaghfirullah. We used to give you money, this and that. They look down, looking down. Arrogance. And Prophet is saying, if you have a grain, a mustard seed of arrogance in your heart, Jannat is haram for you. How are you going to know? Go to the mechanic. Slowly, the system, the whole system, it will change. And even if you cannot change it, but because you're always going to the mechanic, the one who fixes everything is Allah, is the Prophet. They are not like us. They are cheap. We are cheap. They are not. They say you are trying. You're really trying, but you can't because the car is already so bad. It doesn't matter. We'll give you a new car. You take one step to us, we take 10 steps to you. So, this word, fuqara, it is very important in tasawwuf. To know that you don't have, that you are in need, you're in need of mercy. As the Prophet ﷺ is saying, my shafa'at is for my nation, those who commit the big sins. What is the biggest sin? Shirk. There is open shirk and there is hidden shirk. In hidden shirk, the Prophet says it is there, but it is very hard to detect. It is more difficult to detect the hidden shirk than to see a black ant on a black rock in the darkest part of the night. This is what tasawwuf must concentrate on, to look at the hidden shirk. Anger, yes. Stubbornness, arrogance, all these are hidden ones. We say astaghfirullah ya Rabbi, but we are aware and we know that we did. We're not going to be saying, no, I didn't, I'm not. That is arrogance. That time, we know that we are always in need of the intercession of the Prophet ﷺ. May Allah never deprive us from that, inshallah. Al-Fatiha. Evet. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, this much is enough, inshallah. Close the curtains, women can go.
إلى يوم القيامة في كل يوم 1000 مرة. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد ملء أرضك مما حملت وأقلت من قدرتك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد